तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुकुं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय.
Wonderful. Thank you all for joining today. We finished 16th chapter, which is divine and demonic nature. We elaborately covered Krishna specifically talking about the qualities of people who are following Shastra and people who are not following Shastra, what is their mood, how they basically behave, and all that stuff. Now, this is a very important chapter which is talking about the divisions of faith. To be honest, sometimes if the question is asked, why am I not growing in Krishna conscious life? The answer is the faith. One may say, oh, I have faith in Krishna, but the real faith is the faith of Prahlad Maharaj. What happened, Prahlad Maharaj? His
God is
father,
not there, he said. He's no, it's there.
he's there, but on top of it, his father threw him from the mountain. Still, Krishna will protect. He threw him under the mad elephant. Krishna will protect. He put him in the in the room filled with snakes. Krishna will protect. This is faith. Can we replicate that? No, we can't. But the point is, we understand how fragile our faith is. We keep moving like this side and that side. Like like sometimes, um, like India and Pakistan cricket match happens. Like I used to watch. So if India wins, the TVs are broken on the Pakistan side. And if Pakistan wins, TVs are broken on India side. Unfortunately, our faith. If I'm become a Pakistani in next life, then I'll break the TV on the other side. So our faith is exactly like that. We keep switching, right? We keep switching. And that's why in the material energy and spiritual energy, that's why we can't stay at one place. Prabhupada said, I think one guru said actually, Krishna consciousness is binary. What is binary? Either I am in Maya or I am in Krishna. I'm practicing Krishna consciousness. We can't be in between. Oh, I'll practice this and this. And like like you see fish in the ocean, sometimes it pops up to breathe. Right? So most of the time, like that fish, we are inside the ocean of material nature. Occasionally we come to breathe in spiritual life. That's unfortunate thing, right? So we this chapter is extremely important and is applicable to us because it makes us realize how our faith is fragile, right? So in this case, in this chapter, Krishna is elaborately explaining about how charity, austerity, and various things can be done based on three modes of nature. Even bhakti you practice can be also in three modes of nature. Is bhakti above the three modes of nature? Yes. But my practicing could be still fall into these three modes of material nature, right? So that's the idea. So we are starting text 1, 17.1. Arjuna vacha
Arjuna vacha.
ye shastra vidimutsrajya
Ye shastra vidhim ussrisya.
yajante shraddhayanvitaha
Yajante shradhayanvitaha.
tesham nishtha tu ka Krishna rajastama. Arjuna asked Krishna, what was those who do not follow the principles of scripture, but worship according to their own imagination? Wonderful question. You see, in Hinduism, there is so much distraction. I think I should be doing like that. I think this is what I should be worshipping on. So Arjuna is clarifying, if someone is not doing the worship based on the scriptures, right? But they worship based on their own whimsical idea. Are they in goodness, passion, or ignorance? This is the question which is going to be answered throughout the chapter. What is it? Again, it is boiling down to the faith. Situation those who do not follow the principles of scripture, but worship the devtas or worship according to their own imagination, even worshipping Krishna based on their imagination. What kind of worship is that? So this is Arjuna's question, which is going to be answered. We'll read this purport. Prabhupada is connecting the dots together. In the fourth chapter, 39 verse, it is said that a person faithful to a particular type of worship gradually becomes elevated to the stage of knowledge and attains the highest perfectional stage of peace and prosperity. Like an education system or a material education system, we go from grade 1 to 2 to 2 to 3. So some people who have faith in the Devta worship, they slowly come. But ultimately, there is a stage on that. But what we are doing is we are doing a shortcut. Shortcuts is not necessarily bad, but we are directly entering into path of bhakti, not going through this. Which means, like for an example, say you are doing bachelor's, but you got admission in PhD, which means you by whatever grace you are there at PhD. But what is the meaning of your qualification, or what is the meaning of you're getting a PhD? Now you have to act at that platform. You cannot answer the questions based on bachelor's degree. Am I making sense? Now you are applying for PhD. You are in PhD. Your thought process, your action, and how to accept what is instruction being given is based on PhD. I can't still continue like a kindergartner there, right? So same way, when we come to the shortcut taking a bhakti path, now our responsibility increases, our commitment increases, because we are not going a shortcut, we are not going a long cut route, we are taking a shortcut, right? So Prabhupada mentioned that in the 16th chapter it is concluded that one who does not follow the principle laid down in scripture is called an asura. What does it say? Someone not following scriptural injunction, then that is a demon. And one who follows the scriptural injunction faithfully is called Deva. That's what we talked in the previous chapter. If one with the faith follows some rules which are not mentioned in scriptural injunction, what is his position? Right? That's what Arjuna is asking. This doubt of Arjuna is to be cleared by Krishna. Are those who create some sort of God by selecting human being and placing their faith in him, worshipping in goodness, passion, or ignorance? Very clarifying. Some sort of God by selecting a human being, right? That is the problem. Do such person attain perfectional stage of life? Is it possible for them to be situated in real knowledge, elevate themselves to the highest perfection? That's the question, right? So now let's see what is Krishna's answer. Shri Bhagavana Vacha Trivida Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Swabhavaja
Dehinam sa swabhavaja
Satviki Rajasi Chaiva
satviki rajasi chaiva
Tamasi Cheti Tam Shrunu.
tamasi cheti ram shunu.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul. Now, very interesting. When do we acquire the modes? When we come in the material world, we are always working like a puppet. And who is a puppet here? Material nature. What are the strings? Three modes of material nature. What are these three modes of nature? Goodness, passion, and ignorance. So, like a puppeteer make dance the puppet, is exactly we do like that. Right? So when we come according to modes of nature acquired by embodied souls, we acquired it. It's not our original nature. For an example, like I did my education, my bachelor's in textile chemistry, but I got into IT. So that is my acquired nature. That is not my again. I'm just giving a hypothetical example just to connect the dots together, right? So our real nature is not that, but we acquired this nature when we got this body, right? One's faith can be three kinds: in goodness, passion, and ignorance, right? So our faith is based on which modes of nature we are in. Now the question comes in is, oh, but in the previous chapter we talked about we want to go beyond three modes of material nature. So how do I do that? Which means my faith has to also come to the platform of sattva or shuddha sattva, right? So here, those who know the rules and regulation of scripture, but out of laziness or indolence give up following these rules and regulations, are governed by the modes of material nature. I think I don't feel like waking up in the morning. Chanting is okay. I don't want to do it in the morning. I'll do it rest of the day.
But
What is the thing? I'm chanting with good. I'm not denying about that. What is that? I am
nature will change.
material nature, laziness. Where is that coming from?
I
Rajoguna
have
and
felt
Tamoguna.
experience. Probably weekends, like I will come to temple and chanting
Yes.
is different, and weekdays
Huge difference.
five rounds in different times doing is totally different.
Very good point. When there was a marathon which just ended yesterday, kids were doing 192 rounds in 3 days. And now 16 rounds, oh, that's so easy. When I say easy, in terms of at least I don't have a lot of commitment. 16 rounds is easy peasy from that perspective. I just have to spend 2 hours. To make 192 rounds, you have to pretty much chant at least 10 to 12 hours a day so that you can fill it 3 days. 64 rounds you have to chant one day, which is 64, which is 8 hours you have to commit. Then only you can finish that. Right? So the point is why we are not able to grow, because why we are not able to follow the regulation of scripture, because we are lazy. It's a reality. I'm lazy. I struggle on that aspect. Right? Waking up early in the morning is a challenge. Doing Ekadashi is a challenge. Performing, reading, and laziness. Problem is that laziness. Why I'm not doing? Because I have laziness. Why I'm not growing? Because I have a laziness. Right? That's the point. According to their previous activities in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, they acquire a nature which is specific quality. For an example, you wear regular clothes and go in swimming pool. What happens? Your clothes get wet, right? You wear clothes which like for an example, you cover yourself with the helmet and all that stuff. You go to the swimming pool, do you get wet? No, you don't. Like you get a bandage, something hurts, and then you get those bandages which say that waterproof. What does waterproof mean? Waterproofing, the water will not penetrate. Krishna consciousness is exactly like that. When we practice at the mode of goodness and sattva guna, shuddha sattva, we are not affected. We are waterproof. That's the whole idea. What is the meaning of waterproof in our idea? We don't want to be affected by what happens in this material world. Shitoshna sukha dakhada. Whether pleasure comes, whether distress comes, I'm not affected by whatever happens, right? So, unfortunately, because getting this body, we acquire these three modes of material nature because we came in contact with that. We acquire different mentality according to the association of material mode. Like, for an example, Saturday, Sunday, like you said, a beautiful point. You decide to come for chanting. I can decide to go for, oh, I'll sleep because I only get 2 days. What is the decision point here? Same
Mind.
body, yeah, same body. He's a human, B is also human. But I utilize my free will in a right way to bring myself at the mode of Sattva. Versus just sleeping there and I'll wake up late. Why I have to do that? Then I go and forward that one, right? So that's the whole idea.
Maybe because in material world, like how the animals have the no need to earn to feed the families. So
Mm.
even in humans, if they would have, maybe we would have more elevated. I feel sometimes because of this earning, growing, passion, materialistic things which occupying the our almost of the things. I feel.
That's a good point, Prabhu.
See, for example, Monday to Friday, even though I can come, it's just the opposite. I can't come because I will think, okay, 2 hours early morning if I go, I cannot attend meetings because I will get sleep.
Mm.
Because of this material work and all, we are thinking because weekend, okay, even though early morning if I wake up, I can sleep in the afternoon. So in that
I'll answer
way,
that. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I'll put the story, which will answer that. Has many disciples. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is a spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. He had many disciples. One disciple would chant entire day. So devotees complain to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. He just all day he chants. He doesn't do any seva. He doesn't do any seva. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur called. Okay. Tomorrow's newspaper, you publish an article. You publish a message. Yet you come and chant 24 hours in a temple. We will feed you. You don't have to do anything. You just come and chant and see how many people come. Nobody came. So question is what? Is that because I don't have a time
no,
or I don't have a mood to do that?
bhakti is not there.
I don't have correct. I don't have a mood to do that. Like 192, to be honest, I didn't want to do it. I want to be very straightforward. It's not coming from oh, I want to chant one night. No, I want to do it. I like to do it and I want to do it. There is a difference. Right? Like means it comes from your heart. You want to do it whatever happens. So it's not a matter of whether I have a time or not, whether I have responsibility or not. The question here is that how much attraction I have for Krishna. The more attraction you have, irrelevant of whatever time you will squeeze it. I was just during this time I chant 64 rounds in one day. There are devotees. I know one doctor, Prabhu. He chants 64 rounds every single day.
6 hours.
6 hours. 64 is 32. It's 8 hours.
8.
So how is he squeezing 8 hours in spite of you also have 24 hours? Naresh Prabhu also has 24 hours. I also 24 hours. He also has 24 hours. He also has kids. He also has a job. He's a doctor. He has to take care of that. Because he showed his interest in Krishna when Krishna conscious Krishna created time for him. How to create time is on Krishna. But we have to show our sincere desire. So we can keep giving an option saying that I'm not able to do it because of XYZ reason. These are all external. What we need to cultivate is lobha. You know what is lobha? Lobha is a greed. I want it. Like for an example, why do we come to America? We want to earn dollars. There is a lobha. Nobody comes here to work here. Do you work here? Yes, I have to work to earn money. But what is the primary purpose? I want to earn money. So I'm ready to do anything for that. So that is the lobha. We have to bring that in bhakti. That I want to receive Krishna. Then automatically the time will be adjusted. Does it answer your question, Prabhuji? Okay, 17.3. Satvana rupa sarvasya Shraddha bhavati bharata Shraddha mayoyam purusho Yo yat shraddha sa eva saha. O son of Bharata, which means Arjuna, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. Our faith is also based on these three modes of material nature. The living being is said to be a particular faith according to the mode he has acquired. Right? I think I already covered this point, but let's read the second paragraph. The word Shraddha or faith is very significant in this verse. Shraddha or faith is originally comes out of mode of goodness by default. One's faith may be in demigod or some created god or some mental concoction. One's strong faith is supposed to be productive of works of material goodness. But in material condition life, no works are completely purified. Right? They are mixed. Everything is mixed in material nature. We are also, some very rare times we are in mode of goodness, but mostly in passion and ignorance. So nobody say I'm 100% Rajat. We can say that, but it's always a combination, right? That's what is being mentioned. Any questions or comments? Okay, we will read text 4. Yajante satvika devan
Yajante satvika deva
yaksha rakshasmi rajasaha
yaksharakshansi rajasaha
pretan bhuta ganam shanye
pretan bhutaganaschanye
yajante tamasa janaha. Men in mode of goodness worship demigods. Those in mode of passion worship the demons, and those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Yeah, it's very straightforward, right? Because they are combining this to the previous chapter, right? The tendency, who is demonic and who is worshipper devatas, or who is more sura, who is following the Vedic literatures, right? Scriptures. So the people who are on mode of goodness, they do devata worship. Like I went to Hindu temple. This we were doing a kirtan there in the Troy. A very beautiful temple, very beautiful, huge hall. People will come, offer obeisances, and then leave. There is no point of chanting. There is no point of reciting Bhagavad Gita verses. That's not part of this. Again, I'm not criticizing, but I'm trying to say people who are in that mode, they want to follow only up to that point. They will come, bend down this, and leave. Can you come for a class? No. Can you come for chanting? No. Can you come for hearing? No. I don't have a time. That's a business. That's not the mode of goodness. The mode of goodness is who wants to practice bhakti. Like I had One, yes.
confused. Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods, it's saying.
Yeah,
So they
Prabhupada
do.
will clarify the
Oh,
purport.
that's what I was
Very good.
confused.
I know that. Prabhupada will come in the purport. I'll come. Let's read that. In this verse, the Supreme Personality of Godhead describes different kind of worshippers according to their external activities. According to scriptural injunction, only the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipable. But those who are not very conversant with or faithful to scriptural injunction worship different objects according to their specific solution, situation, and mode of nature. Am I making sense now? Prabhupada, what clarified? I am not qualified to enter to PhD. I am still at 10th grade.
First time to
So you
degree,
go to
then
11, 12. So that's how you come to that. Right? Like there was one person, one Brahmana, who wanted to get his daughter married. He was worshipping Lord Shiva. So he approached Lord Shiva, I'm such a poor person. I want to get my daughter married. What should I do? He said, go to the forest. There is a saint called as Sanatan Goswami. You go to him. He has Chintamani now. He has Chintamani. What? Touchstone. You go to him. So he went and he told them, Lord Shiva is mentioned. Yeah, maybe in the trash. Go and see it is there. And he found the touchstone. He touched the iron, became gold. Touched gold. Wow, this is amazing. And he was offering obeisance, leaving. After 10 steps, he realized, hold on. This guy put touchstone in the trash, which means he must have something more sublime than them. So he came to Sanatan Goswami. Baba, you told me I took touchstone, but I realized you have something. You want to know? Yes, I will give you the most of secret. And he gave him bhakti process, you chant. He said, yes, I'll surrender. First, Sanatan Goswami says,
Yeah.
now if you want to practice this, first you throw this touchstone in the river. How many of us will actually do that? If you get a lottery, touchstone, we don't.
Yeah, we can compare. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, come. No, let me take care of this piece first. I'll pay my mortgage. I'll
Finish this,
and then
so
come
then
here.
I will come back.
This person threw the touchstone.
If office says, I'll give you 10%, you will there for 2 more years.
2 more. Why not? I'll stay there. But I'll tell you, Prabhu, unfortunate thing of this world is if you ask someone to join the class, they don't have a time for it.
They have time to work for 2 hours extra because of
Everything.
extra.
Because we consider money is better than honey.
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
100%.
So this is, I have to come to that because I have took up a shortcut. I have to work hard to bring my consciousness. Not deep. This is Prabhupada, not demigod worship. Am I making sense? This is for lower class people who want to come to.
Above goodness, we should go. You are saying.
Correct. Exactly.
Even goodness is also not right.
Goodness can be a Devata worship also. Goodness can also be Krishna worship. But the destination is different. Practice is different. Bhakti does not apply to Devata worship. You never say, I do Bhakti of Lord Shiva. No. Bhakti means Krishna. Straightforward. Okay? So those who are situated in goodness generally worship the demigods. Right? Prabhupada clarified. The demigod include Brahma, Shiva and others such as Indra, Chandra and Sun God. There are various demigods. Those in goodness worship a particular demigod for a particular purpose. Similarly, those are in the mode of passion worship the demons. Right? We recall that during the Second World War, a man in Calcutta worshipped Hitler because thanks to that war, he had amassed a large amount of wealth by dealing in black market. Why do I worship?
Individual purposes.
Yeah. In India, Ganpati just Visarjan happened, right? I quote so many examples. Cricket match going on, they make Ganesh ji Sachin Tendulkar. Right? Amitabh Bachchan. What is this?
I heard this.
This
Now
is
some
my
movie actor dresses they have done it. Serious.
faith. Now I'm bringing such mundane people at the platform of Ganesha who's such an amazing personality. Mode faith, mode of Rajo, mode of Tamo. That's not Devta worship either. Am I making sense?
Correct.
Right? So those in the mode of passion and ignorance generally select a powerful man to be a god. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Like in Hindi, they say Rajnikant, when he was a small boy, he would use Ambuja cement as his toothpaste. That's what they say. We compare, oh, I like this, look at that. We are attracted by fame and money, not attracted by renunciation, not attracted by the loyalty, right? Integrity. Now it is clearly described here, those who are in the mode of passion worship and create such God, and those who are in the mode of ignorance and darkness worship the dead spirits. Sometimes people worship at the tomb of some dead man. Sexual service is also considered to be in the mode of darkness. Similarly, in the remote villages in India, there are worshippers of ghosts. They do. They threw that lemon on the street. It is still done. You know that?
Yes,
They offer liquor to Devatas. Rajogun and Tamogun. That's not Sattogun, right? So is it clear? Can we move to the next verse? Fifth and sixth. Ashastra vihitam goram tapyante yo tapojana dambhahankara samyukta kamaraga balanvita karshayanta sharirastam bhutagramam achetasaha mam chaivanta sharirastam tan viddhi asura nischayan. Now very important. Those who undergo severe austerities and penance, tapasya, not recommended in scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by lust and attachment, who are foolish and who torture the material elements of body as well as the super soul dwelling within, are to be known as demons. Why Hiranyakashipu is a demon? Answer here. Interestingly, he used scriptures. He did not go against scripture. This is very important. Ravana was a Brahmana. He knew what am I talking about, right?
Ego.
Yeah, because the purpose behind it is different. Am I making sense? Why Hiranyakashipu is putting his body to so much of trouble? Prabhu, can you imagine? The whole body is eaten by the ants. You see that photo where he is meditating on one leg for not a year. Year is what? For 10 minutes we can't stand on one leg. Thousands of years of tapasya for what?
Some mundane,
Exactly. But he is following scriptures. But the idea is Rajogun and Tamogun is so strong. I'm practicing based on that. That's why those are demons.
Need it will get it. That's why he is doing that.
Exactly.
Not mukti, yeah.
So he is impelled by lust and attachment that I want this stuff, right? Who are foolish and who torture the material elements of body. He was doing that. Now question comes in is Dhruv Maharaj. What did he want? He didn't want the spiritual world. He said, I want a bigger kingdom than my grandfather. Who is his grandfather? Great grandfather Brahmaji. Brahmaji owns everything, whole universe. He says, I want a bigger kingdom than my great grandfather. Now, is there a material desire? Yes. But that's interesting. Even devotees have material desire. But where does he go to? He doesn't go to Brahma. He doesn't go to Shiva. Whom did he approach? Krishna. He worshipped Vishnu. Narada Muni gave him. Correct. Narada Muni gave him mantra. You chant his mantra. And you will see Krishna, you will see Vishnu face to face. How much time it took to see Lord Vishnu? Anybody knows? 6 months. Within 6 months. How many of us are here in Krishna consciousness for more than 6 months? All of us. Why we are not seeing Vishnu? The desire isn't strong. Desire to attain Krishna is not strong. I want Sukha Sampati Gar Aave Kashta Mite Tanka. Sukha Sampati. Sampati means money. Sukha means happiness. It should come home. And I shouldn't have bodily misery. That's why I'm worshipping my Lord. So coming to bhakti, even if you have material desire, is purifying because you are going to Krishna versus going to Devatas. Right? So that's the thing, which is what is the need, what is the purpose behind this? I want to fulfill my desire. And they, for that reason, they worship Devatas. And what is that mode? It is who are those people? Who are demons who are doing that, right? So I will not go to the purport. We will directly go to the 7th verse. Aharshvatava api sarvasya aharastva api sarvasya trivido bhavati priyaha
pravyah
yajnastapastatha danam
yajnastapasthatha dhanam
tesham vedam imam shrunu.
tesham vedam imam shunu.
Even the food each person prefers is of three kinds. According to three modes of material nature, the same is true of sacrifices, austerity, and charity. Now, here of distinction between them. People like spicy, which means what? Rajo. People like Maharaj came who gave the classes here. You know what is his diet? He doesn't take salt.
Wow.
Now I'll ask you a question. Whether you are served kachoris, whether you are served malpuas, whether you are served khichdi, or
Prabhuji,
whether you are served
one time we cannot survive, Prabhuji.
what salt, he doesn't take salt.
That Prabhuji who came like that in the photo, the longer one here today.
Ha. No, not
What is this?
not today, Prabhu.
No.
Maharaj was there, he was giving the class. Were you there when Prabhuji?
Yeah.
So there was long. Yeah, he's from like he has been preaching in Africa language and all that. He a PhD done. Doesn't
That
take salt.
Prabhuji
Yes,
salt?
that Maharaj
Oh, I have been.
doesn't take salt. What does that mean? What kind of food we are eating is also based on the mode of Rajotama and this thing, right? And even the sacrifice, austerity, and charity, they are also in mode of Rajot, Sattva, Rajo, and Tamo.
One above Prabhuji already than this material.
This is example, bro. I don't live for my taste.
Prabhuji, we won't have without one time, Prabhuji. Leave about
Even less salt, bro. You won't do
correct,
that.
Correct. Yes. Less salt.
Anyway,
Less
let's
salt,
go to the
less
8th
sugar.
verse now. Ayu Sattva Bala Yoga Rogya Bala Rogya Sukha Priti Vivardhanaha
Priti Vivardhanaha
Rasaya Snigdhasthira Raya
Rasaya Snigdha
Stararidaya Ahara Satvika Priyaha.
Ahara Satvika Priyaha.
Food dear to those in mode of goodness increases the duration of life. Why do we have so many diseases? Because our food intake is polluted. What we are eating is not nourishing the body, it is taking care of only tongue. Exactly. I struggle on that. I want to be very honest. But this is where we want to it increases the duration of life. Purify one's existence and give strength. You know, in Hindi they say jaisa ann vaisa man. The type of food you eat, right? Your consciousness is like that. Like one Maharaj is there who's Vyas Puja is doing, Chandramauli Maharaj. He was staying at our place. One day he asked me, who cooked yesterday? Hey, Maharaj, listen, I was seeing the dreams of dog chasing me. He's so particular. Who is making boga? I want to be very careful who is cooking. Can you imagine? We don't have that cleared consciousness. Oh, anything we eat doesn't make a difference to us. But when we become grow in bhakti, we could clearly sense our consciousness based on what we eat. Very important, right? Make sense? And give strength, healthy, happiness, and even such fruits are what kind of food is goodness? Juicy, fatty. Fatty does not mean oil and French fries and all, and it's not this thing. Wholesome and pleasing to the heart. You don't feel, oh, I'm not comfortable. Like sometimes you eat something which you're not comfortable with, then you just not comfortable, right? So that's not sattva guna, right? That's the food. Let's read verse 9. Katva amala lavanati ushna
Amala Lavanati Ushna
tikshna ruksha vidahinaha
Tikshna Ruksha Vedaniya
ahara rajasayesta
Ahara Rajasayasta
dukkha shoka maya pradaha.
Dukha Shokhaya Prada.
Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, and burning are dear to those in mode of passion. Clear cut, we could understand. I put in here. Such food cause distress, misery, and disease. Make sense?
We're still here.
Okay, 10th verse. Yatayamam gatarasam
Yatayamam Gata Rasam
Puti paryusitam chayat
Bhuti paryusitan chatyat
uchistam api chamedyam
uttishtam api chameshyam
bhojanam tamasa priyam.
sojanam tamasam priyam.
Food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten, food that is tasteless, decomposed or putrid, and food consisting of remnants, an untouchable thing, is dear to those in mode of darkness.
Probably one question.
Yes.
Like sometimes see, throwing food also is not good, right?
Yes.
Prabhuji? So,
Prabhupada clarifies in the purport, I know where you are leading to. Prasad is okay.
okay.
Prabhupada clarifies.
Without wasting.
Yes. Prabhupada clarifies. Because it is sattvic. But it shouldn't be a regular habit.
Normal food. If it is
So you
prasad,
should
it is okay.
work on preparing that much which you can eat.
Keep it.
I try that. I want to be very honest. I avoid having food which is cooked before.
Correct. Sometimes overcooked or some.
Yes.
See, for example, in Krishna
Here.
Janmashtami, it will.
Yes.
Next day we supposed to
We
have.
take because
we take home. Next day
higher
we
principle is that I am able to utilize that time worshipping Krishna and doing devotional service. You have some question, bro.
No.
Clear, right? This is Bhagavad Gita, Prabhu. Everything cluttered becomes like a clear sky. Oh, I am doing wrong here. I should work on this. I should work on. I'm not saying you change your habits all of a sudden. Try to understand how can I purify my consciousness. These are the things which are affecting me to not chant attentively. Let me work on that. Make sense, Prabhu? Okay, so we will not go to the purport. This is a homework for you. Okay, we will directly go to verse 11. Falankarasth, sorry, Falankan Ikshibiriyajno.
Afalankakshibiryagno.
Very good. Vididistoya Ijjate
Vididistoya ishjate.
Yastavyam evati manaha
Yastavyam evati manaha.
Samadaya sa satvikaha.
Samadaya satvikaha.
So last 3 verses were on food. What kind of food is goodness? What kind of food is passion? And what kind of ignorance? Now sacrifices. Of sacrifice, the sacrifice performed according to the direction of scripture as a matter of duty by those who desire no reward is to be the nature of goodness. What is that? Sacrifice you do based on the scripture, that is first thing. Matter of duty, because I'm supposed to do it. Of those who desire no reward, I don't expect what am I going to get written out of it. That is in mode of goodness. Prabhupada mentions the general tendency is to offer sacrifice with some purpose in mind. But here it is said that sacrifice should be performed without any such desire. It should be done as a matter of duty. Take, for example, the performance of rituals in temple or in churches. Generally, they are performed in the purpose of material benefit, but that is not in the mode of goodness. Make sense? So when we do any austerity, when we offer
Not
flower,
for self.
not for self. This is for Krishna's pleasure. It will be clarified even this in Sattvagun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. Let's read 12. Abhisandayatu phalam
Abhisandhyayatu phalam.
dambhartam api chaivaya
Dambhartam
very good, Prabhu.
chaivaya.
Ijjate bharata shrestha
Ijjate bharata shrestha.
tam yajnam vidirajasam.
Tam yagnam vidirajyasam.
But the sacrifice performed for some material benefits or for the sake of pride, O chief of the Bharata, you should know to be in mode of passion. So if I'm doing any sacrifice, expecting something in return, that is Rajogun. That's passion. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, verse 13. Viddihinam ashritanam
Vidhihinam ashrathanam.
mantrahinam adakshinam
Mantrahinam
adakshinam
adakshinam.
shraddha virahitam yajnam
Shraddha virahitam yagnam.
tamasam parichakshate.
Tamasam parichakshate.
So sacrifice we covered food, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Sacrifice we covered goodness, passion, now ignorance. Any sacrifice performs without regard for the direction of scripture. What is the difference between sacrifice and goodness and passion? It is still based on the scripture,
Not for us.
but I have reward, right?
Yeah,
That's passion.
self-requirements.
Exactly. Goodness, no expectation. Here, not doing as per the rituals, as per the scriptures. Without distribution of prasadam, spiritual food, without chanting of Vedic hymns and remuneration of priests, and without faith is considered to be in mode of ignorance. Right? So faith in mode of darkness or ignorance is actually faithlessness. Wow, there is no faith here. When I'm practicing any of this stuff without scripture, without reciting mantras, ignorance. This is not talking about faith at all. This is completely faithlessness, right? Such ceremonial shows of religiosity are not accepted as genuine. Very straightforward. Make sense? Let's read text 14. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna
Devadvija Guru Prajna
Pujanam Saucham Arjavam
Pujanam Saucham Arjvam
Brahmacharyam Ahimsa Cha
Brahmacharya Ahimsa Cha
Shariram Tapa Uchyate.
Shariram Ta Upachyate.
Now we talked about what all think we covered food, we talked about sacrifice, now we are talking about tapasya. Make sense? Austerity of the body consists in worship of Supreme Lord. The Brahmanas, the spiritual master and spirit superiors, like the father and mother, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. This is goodness.
Okay,
Right?
so even like before serving it should be clean, before cooking it will be clean.
Yes.
That is austerity.
Yes. Like I don't do it. I want to be very honest. We are supposed to take a bath twice in a day.
Okay.
And if we use a restroom, we need to take a bath. So again, it's shaucham, cleanliness. We should try to practice as much as possible. I'm not doing it, so please forgive me about that. I can't preach on that. So Supreme Personality of Godhead here explains the different kind of austerity and penance. First, he explains the austerities and penance practiced by body. One should offer or learn to offer respect to God or the demigods, the perfect brahmanas, spiritual masters, superior like father, mother, and whoever is following Vedic literature. There should be given proper respect. One should practice cleansing oneself externally and internally. Externally, we take a bath. Internally, we chant the holy names. Right. So, what we talked about austerity of body and mind.
Internal and external.
Yes, right. That's what we talked about in this verse. Let's read text 15. Anudvegakaram vakyam
Anudvegakaram Vakyam
satyam priya hitam chaya
Satyam Priya Hitanchaya
swadhyayabhi shanam chaiva
Svabhyabhyasanam Chaiva
vanmayam tapa uchyate.
Vanmayam Tapa Uchyate.
Austerity of speech consisting speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regular reciting Vedic literature. Austerity of speech, the tongue. What is the austerity of speech?
Okay, like we have to clean our mouth by chanting and it should be clean, something like that.
Plus speaking words which are truthful,
Hmm.
pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others.
Okay.
Krishna
Making
conscious.
some fun and hurting
Correct.
for someone like that.
Problem in bhakti is when we take Krishna consciousness aloof from other activities we do. That's a problem. Krishna consciousness is a wholesome process. So, dealing with family members, dealing with people outside, dealing with anyone also has to be part of the whole
Correct,
Krishna
I have a
consciousness.
question here. Like,
Yes.
so once we listening all these things, assume we'll go to India, right?
Mm.
So to follow with like in family, at least we can be all these things we can follow with talking, especially. But with the common people, that local employee, like plumbers, all those things, they are not trustable. So sometimes we have to talk in that rough way. So how to make uh,
If a child is doing mischievous activities, you show how humility, not scolding him. That's not true. You scold him, the mood is what to help him. Am I making sense?
mhm.
Externally is different, internally is different. Externally, I'm behaving like he has to know how to behave. It's good for him. I don't show humility and let him do. At the end of the day, he's devotee. I'm like, again, I'm not talking about your own kid. I'm not saying
No,
someone.
how, for other person.
So for other person also, the purpose has to be served. For that purpose, sometimes you have to speak in such a way, not that you intentionally want to basically hurt him. Am I making sense? Purpose has to be served. Sometimes there are people who speak rash or speak like that. So you cover it up and get out. But don't involve yourself in that. I've seen when I involve myself, I agitate my own mind. Forget about that guy. Like, I'll give you an example. I have a big ego problem. If a car overtakes me, like I'm going and this guy to explain just comes from, how could you do that to me? Right? And then you again go and who at the end of the day, whoever wins, whatever, hell with it. But you agitate your mind. It happens to me. I want to be very honest. How could you do like that? Why ego? Right? So the point is our behavior should not be agitating. It will help us only.
Correct.
Forget
Yes,
about that.
after talking, it will again it will be long time in our mind, but it's very difficult to handle with low job people. So
Get your work done,
mm,
but don't get to your heart.
okay,
Get your work done, but try to get it done easily. I'll be very honest. Most of my life, I have experienced that. In हिंदी से जितना प्यार से काम नहीं होता ना, जितना गुस्से से काम नहीं होता उतना प्यार से होता है. When you want to get your work done, lovingly you speak, you get a lot of work done, even with kids.
correct.
You want to communicate a message, if you tell them very nicely, they
Politely
will
they
listen.
will do it. If
Like
you
I
order,
goofed up. I goofed up couple of days back. Neither the purpose was served, on top of it, kids did not want to follow. So purpose was to teach him, but he doesn't want to listen. Why? Because the way I said wasn't right. So it has to be always with this principle. What is that? It should be truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So this is the austerity of speech. Right? Let's cover the next one, 16th verse. Mana prasada somyatvam
Manaprasada saumyatvam
maunam atma vinigraha
maunam atma vinigraha
bhava samshuddhi tat iti eta
bhavasamshuddhireta
tapo manasam uchyate.
tapo manasa muchyate.
And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, let me repeat. And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of mind.
Mm.
So first we talked about food and sattva, rajogun, and tamo. Then we talked about austerity, sattvagun, rajogun, and tamogun. Sorry, sacrifice. And now we are talking about austerity of the speech, austerity of the mind. What is the austerity of mind? Being satisfied.
Mm.
Very difficult, bro. But if you do that, you'll be always happy. Happiness is an internal state. It's not an external. You can't be happy by acquiring external things. Internally, you have to be satisfied. That is the activity of mind. Simplicity, simple living, high thinking. You don't have to work hard to earn money because my desires are very limited. Right? Gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence. How do we purify our existence? By chanting Hare Krishna, practicing bhakti sincerely. We purify our existence. Not only you go back to Godhead, your 21st generation before and after go back to Godhead. Can you imagine if one person in the family sincerely practices?
Mhm.
Let's be ourselves an example. I want to practice bhakti very nicely so that I can help my family. We think giving kid an iPhone, giving him a watch will make him happy. No. The biggest benefit you can do for your family is you practice with intensity. You desire to go back to God, and they will automatically follow. Make sense? Right? I think we will end this here. Any questions or comments?
Nice.
Sorry, I rushed through a little.
But yeah, it's very simple and
Yeah,
straightforward.
that's thank you, Prabhu, for accepting that. So please forgive me. But the whole idea is we come closer to Krishna by reading Bhagavad Gita, coming together. Right? Makes sense. So we will continue next Tuesday again. We'll move back to 7:30. Does 7 work with everyone? Is Tuesday because I know a couple of devotees said they are not available, but good. It worked out well for you. Wonderful. Mamita Mataji, would you like to add something? Okay, wonderful, Madhav. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being a sincere listener. Thank you so much. La Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. We'll